welcome to the Women2Win Spotlight of the Week. This week's spotlight is on Victoria Atkins, the MP for Louth and Horncastle. Vicky was first elected in 2015. When did you decide you wanted to become an MP?
About 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when David Cameron opened up the candidates list for the Conservative Party in the wake of the expenses scandal. He called for people with real life experience to come into politics, and I thought, gosh, if I don't put my money where my mouth is, as it were, now, and put my name forward, then I can't really carry on complaining at the television when I've seen politicians make mistakes and I've wanted to sort it out.
And so what was the real life experience you had before that moment?
I prosecuted criminals for a living, and I prosecuted, in the final stages of my career, I prosecuted the sorts of cases you read about in national newspapers.
And so once you'd seen David Cameron and the call to arms, how did your political journey begin? How did you go about becoming an MP?
Well, I remember sending in my CV to central office, and I got a phone call saying, "Oh, come along for a PAB, a Parliamentary Assessment Board." I got through the PAB, and then I started applying for seats.
And you were selected relatively quickly?
It was a bit of a journey. It was a bit of a journey. So I was very lucky in that by the time I got onto the list, I was standing in seats against people who are now cabinet ministers. So and then through to 2015, the seat selection for that, to my delight, was selected for the constituency of Louth and Horncastle. But it was a lot of hard work. It required real sort of dedication and commitment, but it was definitely worth it.
And how have you found the commute, dealing with your constituency not being very close to London and working in London half the week? How have you managed that?
It's tricky. I don't pretend that, for a moment, otherwise for a moment. My constituency is 3.5 hours drive on a goodish run from London, and it's just about timing that journey to make sure that you hit as little traffic as possible. But it's a real privilege, I think, to represent a seat that is as rural as Louth and Horncastle is. For those who don't know Lincolnshire, it's on the Lincolnshire coastline. It is 531 square miles, and it has some of the most beautiful agricultural land in the country.
Sounds like a delight. And you talk about it being a very rural area. Did you have a rural background or growing up? Because we do have a lot of candidates who worry that they have a background different to a seat they'd like to go for.
Oh gosh, no, you should just go for it. You never know when the fit will fit. I grew up in a market town, but it wasn't nearly as rural as the constituency I now represent. So I would say, go for it. If you feel you have something you can bring to the constituency, that you feel you can do them proud, then you should put that application in. You never know, it might just be the one.
And how have you found your criminal law background has aided you in your work in Parliament? Have you been able to use that experience?
Oh gosh, yes. I get to cross-examine people, I get to make speeches, and I think also having the background of analysing evidence and deciding, making judgments as to which piece of evidence you're going to rely on. Those are all really valuable skills in the House of Commons. But then, people from other backgrounds will have other skills that they can bring as well. The joy of being a Member of Parliament is that you decide how you want to be the Member of Parliament. So for some people, they do a lot of written work, they write articles, they write policy papers. For others, it's very much about what happens in the chamber. And the point is, it's up to you as to how you want to define that role. Of course, the electorate will get to decide whether or not you're doing a good enough job, but it's up to you as to how you interpret the role.